up, guys? So I'm gonna ask the questions. How many of you know who Tom Brady is? Raise your hand. Sounds about right. How many of you know who I am? Sounds about right. All right. So, as many of you did, I grew up watching Tom Brady. He is a 7-time Super Bowl champion, 5-time Super Bowl MVP, 15-time Pro Bowler, and 2-time Offensive Player of the Year. A pretty successful career, if you ask me. Like Brady, I've been an athlete my whole life. I've played 4 sports at the highest and most competitive level for the majority of my life, and have loved it for most of my life. So today I want to talk about Brady's sports life, his life lessons, and then why I apply it to my life and the benefits I believe it brings to me and hopefully others someday. So Tom Brady's work ethic and his humble attitude have helped him to overcome many of life's challenges and the adversity that he faces in his life. So according to my sources, Brady grew up just across the bay in San Mateo, California, and he always dreamt of being in the NFL. Unfortunately, he was overlooked many, many times in his life. So in high school, he always would split reps at a quarterback position, and he was never pursued by any colleges. Eventually, he would get an opportunity to play at an elite level at the University of Michigan, where he would be overlooked again until his senior year, where he would finally get to start as the starting quarterback for the Michigan Wolverines. And he, during his senior year, would throw for 2,500 passing yards and 20 touchdowns. A very, very good season. Many of Brady's teammates in high school described him as a very patient and persistent young man who always waited his turn, and when he got his turn, he made the most of it. Despite his solid senior year in college, he unfortunately was overlooked by many NFL scouts. So, despite Brady's work ethic and consistent growth, he was selected 199th by the New England Patriots, which to many people, this would be a total setback and be very demoralizing. And however, Brady used it as fuel. He allowed it to help him work harder and perfect his craft so he could prove people wrong. His hard work and determination would help him to become one of the greatest football players of all time, in my opinion. And he would show that the impossible can be done. So his story shows that when the odds are against you or a goal is out of sight, does not mean you have to give in. If you play the odds, beat the odds, with hard work, silent leadership, and you have a driven purpose, that you can accomplish the majority of things in life. As an athlete, this story really inspires me to do every rep, every pitch, every lift, whatever it may be, with a purpose and a goal to be the absolute best at it. Even if I never get to be the best, it always gives me something to push towards and be, I guess. Brady's journey from being overlooked to being a superstar is not just a story, I believe. It's a life lesson, and it inspires me and to build my character around his. So Brady's resilience and his leadership and passion are what mold me into the person I want to be today. And not just how I approach baseball, but also how I approach my life and how I go about my business every single day. Brady has a team-first mentality, and his job is to encourage and uplift others. Even when they're having a rough day or they may have blown the game for the team, he still encourages them and uplifts them. He's a very, as they call, locker room guy. He's the first person to credit others, which is a fantastic personality trait to have. I think a lot of people would enjoy that. So I myself try to implement these. So I try to encourage struggling players and push them to give their best effort every single day. And I always try to lead with a humble attitude, because no one likes an arrogant person. So I often find myself with an opportunity to be in a position of power or to be a leader on a team. And this is a big opportunity and responsibility, I believe. So I believe that celebrating others wins and builds trust with other people. I think that's a very important thing that I've learned from Tom Brady. So Tom Brady's resilience after setbacks proves that failure is not final. That is a very important lesson that I have learned from him and try to implement in my life. So after losses, injuries, setbacks, he uses it as motivation to help him grow, and uses it as a learning opportunity to help him become better, so the next time he comes out, he's better prepared and he's ready to win. He calls it the win first mentality. So when I have a rough day personally, or I pitch bad, I like to implement that same experience and mindset. I think a lot of people usually will crumble and fold during that under pressure, and I try to implement that in my life so that I can next time come out and be better and succeed. So each mistake is an opportunity to grow and come back better next time, is what I've learned. And this example keeps me persistent and passionate. Even when my goals may seem unattainable, it always keeps me striving towards something, to be the best in the room, even when I'm not. So in conclusion, here are some of the lessons I learned from Tom Brady. So from his hometown in San Mateo to being the 199th pick in the draft to being an NFL superstar, Brady's humble leadership, his resilience, and his patience have shaped how I approach baseball and also my life. So, like Brady, I've been an athlete most of my life. His mentality and character have molded me into the person I am and want to be today. And so I want to close with a quote from Mr. Brady. Greatness is not about where you start, but about the patience, passion, and preparation you bring every single day.